your July forecast. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner. And before I go in to this month's forecast, I want to talk about something that I've been experiencing, and it fascinates me, I think, at this point. So I think I need to bring it up to everybody and deliver this message that I think I've been given. So about 4 weeks ago, I started seeing things like figures, like dark figures. Like, they weren't spooky, like evil or anything. They didn't have any features. They were just these silhouettes, these dark silhouettes, and they were by a tree, and they were in a field, and they were, you know, in my house, and then one was in my car, and, you know, I had saw these, and I don't know, you see enough of them, and it's like, okay, it's not because I'm tired, it's not because I'm stressed, it's not because I, you know, experience anxiety. Like, they were completely in the morning, they were at all times of the day, and I kept experiencing it. It's not like I woke up and saw a dark energy over me, and it was just because I was kind of in that unconscious, conscious realm. It was strange. So I told a couple of people about it, and of course they were like, she's crazy, never mind. So then I stopped, you know, I'm not going to talk about it, you know, if I get an unfavorable response. So then I've been really, really tired for like 2 months, and I just attributed it to, you know, being in Cancer. I'm a Cancer Leo cusp, and so I thought, okay, I spent some time working in my 12th house in Cancer, and now I'm working in Leo's 12th house. And I thought, well, I'm just really tired because, you know, Saturn's in my 12th house and it's in Scorpio, and I just feel like I'm really absorbing a lot of energy. And I thought I can rationalize all that because I study energy. I study planetary energy. I know how it affects you. And so that resonated with me. Then I started having my dreams. Now, the way that I connect with energy is through dreams. I can't explain it. I'm not psychic. I just feel when people are doing something or when they need me. Like, say if there's a friend in need, I will start to dream about that friend in need. I'll start to dream about their crisis. And normally when I call them, I'm usually always right. There's a personal crisis. I often call people when they're in the middle of their crisis and I don't even know it, but I haven't talked to them for a really long time, but I'll just call them out of the blue and they're like, you have no idea how much I needed to hear from you. I didn't know it. These are the things that I experience on a regular basis. It's just me and how all of this awakening is happening within myself. My special gift to all of this is I want to make logic out of energy, and then I want to communicate it to you, and then I want you to manipulate energy. For me, it's absolutely important that all of us learn that we're all just subject to energy, and that energy can have a high vibration and a low vibration. And if you know how like say Saturn and Scorpio, if it's in a square, it's going to affect you differently than when it's in a trine or in a beautiful sextile. So I really like to talk to people and let them know, hey, this energy is up to mischief, up to no good, and this is why you're feeling this way halfway through the day. And I feel that's my take, that's my special little gift. It's just that ability to understand energy on a more logical level. However, I am intuitive, I am an empath, and so I do become overwhelmed with energy on a regular basis, and I do have to really tweak it. I've had a life, my entire life I've spent tweaking energy, really trying to manifest the best out of my day, manifesting energy. I didn't always know it was energy that I was doing because I wasn't aware of astrology back when I was really young. But I did know that I could decide how I chose to look at something and look at the highest form of that. So what I'm not good at is looking at the dark side of energy. I'm 44, so I've spent a significant amount of my life always trying to find the highest vibration in everything. I'm not very good at finding the bad things, the dark things, the things that aren't good. And so I know what scares me and what makes me have a bad feeling, but I don't know what's dark and what's light, or if that person's dark or if that person's light. Like, I feel their energy is negative, their energy vampires. I know they're dark that way, but for the most part, I'm not really sure about all of this. Now, I don't research the metaphysical realm. This has been an awakening for me. It's a slow awakening. It's not something I totally understand. I don't go seek healers. I don't talk to anybody else who does astrology. I do watch a zillion videos like in a month because there's a lot of people communicating through YouTube, and so I'm obsessed with YouTube. That's on my TV 24/7. I don't even watch TV. I can't tell you what's realistically going on in the world. I can feel it. I just can't tell you. That's my gift. That's my thing. So when I started seeing these dark figures, I knew they weren't terrible. I knew they weren't malefic. I don't know how. I feel I'm being observed. I feel like they're guides, but I don't know what to make of them. And I haven't really put that much thought into it because, quite frankly, I'm just so busy. Every minute I'm alive, I'm either researching astrology, researching out the energy, researching how to manipulate energies, doing daily videos, doing monthly videos. And then, by the way, hey, I got a full-time job, and I have a cat, a dog, and I have a life. So, this has been an awakening, I have to say. Then one night, I had this weird dream. And this dream was vivid. Those dark energies, those shaded figures. One sat me down and said, if you do everything on this list, you will have a benefic life. Now, I have been praying for years to have some sort of guide in my life to help me make good choices, because I suck at making choices, right? Because I make emotional-based decisions that make me feel good. And they're not always what is benefic for me. They're not always what it was in my best interest. So I was very shocked by this dream. I woke up and wrote down everything. It was a message, a clear message for me. Now, see, I am in tune with things that bring me messages. I don't really understand it all yet, but I do know that if I have a conversation with somebody and I'm embarking on a video series, or I'm embarking on a thought process, a message will come through their words, and I'm like, oh, this is the message. It's fine-tuned now. I really enjoyed when I was writing out my dailies, because there were so many messages that I received, much more than I receive now that I'm doing video messages. And it's just amazing how energy works in your life once you open the door. But here's the thing, I don't want to open the door all the way. It's like opening up Pandora's box. Like, I'm afraid of what's fully in that box. And so I really tried to avoid it. But when you're getting signals and messages from the universe and they're this clear, it's a signal. But what that signal meant, I had no idea. The way that I prep for videos is I get ready. I usually listen to music, or because I receive messages through music all the time too. But I also play videos. So, like, let's say in this month, Mars is in Cancer. It's a debilitated energy. Well, I really want to know about it. So I'll put Mars in Cancer on YouTube, and I'll play like 20 videos on it until there's no more videos on Mars in Cancer. So I listen to many astrologers' takes on the same energy, and then I receive a message on how I should perceive that energy. And that's how I work. It's just me. And so I did that, but instead of going to the next video, it went on to this Vedic astrologer that I follow, because I like Vedic astrology combined with Western astrology, because I believe that Vedic astrology has some things that I think Western astrology doesn't really explain, but that Vedic astrology, explains better to me. And so it went on to his next video, and he was talking about how this Vedic astrologer, had this awakening experience, and how he's been having some weird symptoms. Now, he talked about lights. I'm talking about some, I don't know, dark figure thing, multiple. He talked about a portal being opened up. I don't know anything about that. I don't feel there's a portal being opened up. I just feel I have a direct connection to something that's speaking to me and observing me. That's what I feel. What that means, I haven't talked to anybody about this, so I don't know what all of this means. Maybe it is a portal. I don't know. Like, I'm not there yet, and I don't even think I'm ready for that awareness. I don't want to face that reality. Classic Gemini rising here. We don't like to face things. But he had talked about that, there's this mass ascension going on. And literally within an hour of releasing his video, he got 14,000 hits. It shut down his server. There is a mass ascension. You can't lie about the statistics of 14,000 people having the same responses to energy. This fascinated me, and it validated what I have been feeling, that I don't have a connection to people in my personal life. I work at a school where I can't really talk about this stuff. It's not okay. I don't know anybody who likes astrology the way that I do. And so I don't talk about astrology. The only people I talk about astrology with are you guys. And so really validated me, and it felt fabulous, and it was a message. There's a reason why that video was the next video right before I made this series. And that is because it's a message for me to speak to you about it. There is something going on. There is something bigger than I can understand. Maybe I don't want to understand. I mean, sometimes I believe knowledge is power, but then sometimes I believe it can take away power. It can make you feel overwhelmed. I know for me, it makes me feel scared and sometimes nervous that I'm part of this group of callings. They say that light workers, healers, psychic healers, energy healers, are getting this ascension, getting this calling. And so I don't really see myself that way. Classic Venus and Virgo debilitation is that, I just don't, I feel like I'm not worthy. I would never feel like I was worthy enough to be a special person in a calling of like, I'm a light worker. Like I don't think that way. I just think I'm a person communicating a message. And I have fun doing it every once in a while. Sometimes it's tedious, but sometimes I like it. And so, but this is my message to you. Take it for what it is. If it speaks to you, I'm happy that I delivered my message, the message that the universe was asking me to deliver. And so let's get started on why you even tuned in the first place, which was the July forecast. So, guys, you have a full moon in your sign. Whew, this is wonderful. So this is highlighting you, how you think, your identity, your authentic self. It's really putting a spotlight what your ultimate goal is, what your dream is, what are your hopes. There is, and this is diving deep, guys, and this is not only diving deep, this is like diving deep with Uranus in there. So anything could pop out, anything could pop out of this moon. The way that I like to look at full moons is full moons show the light where the shadows are. So at night, you're a different person than you are during the day. And so at night, this is showing you the darkest cubbyhole in yourself at night, or others, or people that are in your life, like all those people in your inner circle. Is showing you that cubbyhole, and it's asking you, is that something you want to go forward with? Or, how are you? I mean, are you okay? Do you really have to go home and drink a ton of alcohol to get through your day, that nobody knows that you have this drinking problem? Because when you're out in the world, you're confident, you're assertive, you're on task, you're climbing the ladder. But you know what? At night, you risk take. You do self-sabotaging things. You have to drink away the stress. You have to obsessively work out. Maybe you vomit to stay thin. I don't know. You have some excessiveness to you. Every Capricorn I've ever known has this need to blow off steam by being extreme. Why do you think they are the goat, man? They just go up the mountain with teeny tiny hooves and they'll climb up some freaking cliff. I mean, that's how they vent. That's how they get their steam out. But for you, Saturn in Scorpio is squaring off with Jupiter and with Venus, both in Leo, on this very moon. So you have normally what would be this full moon in your sign bringing to an accumulation something. It could be that you could have got, you know, something that just, you know, you updated your appearance and it's like, dang, I look good. You know, you went and got plastic surgery and you're like, whew, totally got what I wanted to look. That's exactly what I wanted. But in this full moon, it's actually debilitated. It's actually being pulled back. Now, first of all, Mars is in Cancer, so that's debilitated. Mars doesn't like being in Cancer. Mars likes to be out storming the hills, saving the world. It doesn't want to be stuck at home and family, tediously going over everything that the family wants it to and talking about feelings and blah. Like, it doesn't like that. It wants to be out and about and you know, fighting for some cause. And so you're moody, you're more sensitive than normal, you're agitated, but you can't let it out. And so what are you doing to yourself? How are you taking this out on yourself? I think you're going to really explore this on the full moon. It has to do with your relationship with yourself. And Saturn highlighted this back in October of 2012 to 2014. So I think you already know what you do. You already know that you have this tendency, yet you may have overcome it, but you're being tested again, or you may be looking at it again and just saying, oh, I do need to fix that. I need to. And it's going to be something that is your relationship with yourself, solely yourself. This isn't something that somebody's going to have to be able to help you through. Then on the 8th, we have a beautiful benefic energy in today. This is a gorgeous day. It's full of nothing but lovely, lovely trines. So Saturn is still going to be squaring off with Jupiter and still going to be squaring off with Venus. And for you, this is going to be a transformation in an area. But this is going to be a breakdown in that area as well. But on this day, you're going to come up with some creative way to look at it that isn't normally how you would look at it. You're going to think outside of the box. I think you're going to, I think it'll happen to you maybe you could tune into a dream. You could tune in when you're meditating. You could tune in when you get home at night and you're just there alone in that dark little world that you like to live in. And you could get some insight on how to take care of this. You know, understand that your sensitivity, especially when you have the sun sitting in Cancer, your intuition is heightened right now. Everybody says you don't have to have a Cancer placement to feel intuitive. You don't have to have water energy to feel intuitive. If it's influencing the sun and you're working in your first house this month, then you have a direct conduit to the universe to ask it what is going on here. You're going to look at your perception of things and you're going to see it for the higher experience in it. You're not just going to look at it at this, superficial level, although that makes sense out of energy and that's what you like to do. For you, I think this day is going to enlighten you. It's going to expand you. It's going to look at things different, and it's going to be like an aha moment day for you. And that's on the 8th. On the 13th, you are going to have a day where you're going to be looking at your home and family, and you're going to be looking at pleasure, and you're going to be evaluating it. This day is a day that I like to call a balancing day. And for you, I think it's important that you take a look at how you stay in control with others. Now, others reflect how you are. So others show you who you are at the time. So if you're attracting a bunch of people into your life that may get you to where you want to go, so they may, they may be a millionaire, and so you pattern your lifestyle after their habits, and so that seems like the logical, rational way to do it. That's all great, but you have this intuitive conduit that you don't even need to do that because you have this energy supporting you. Mars is in Cancer. It's going to be squaring off on this day with Saturn. So I think you can expect something unexpected to happen where you have this awakening of like, I don't get to just lash out and act irrationally and have this giant emotional response without a ramification. And so you really, really take a look at tuning you back, like tuning you down. Like, yes, it's great to be extreme and blow off your steam, but at the expense of what? Expense of home and family, at the expense of a pleasurable experience. I mean, are you going to ruin everybody else's day because you can't freaking cope with the energy because, you have your Mars is debilitated and everybody's Mars is debilitated and the world is responding to it and it's just pissing you off? Like, you're going to have a day where I think if you're smart, you will tune into Jupiter and Venus both conjunct, trining Uranus, and just, okay, if something expected goes up, comes up, go with it. Adapt. Let go of the control. You don't need to be in control of everything. You guys are fracking control freaks. And so stop trying to control every little thing because, thanks to your ruler, you need to feel like you need to not only be in control of yourself, but over everybody else in your vicinity. Then on July 15th, you have a new moon in Cancer. And this for you is going to be in the house where, like I said, you're looking at yourself through others' eyes. You're seeing, look, the way that we learn about ourselves and where we're at in the world is look at who we're attracting. Friends, colleagues, and romantic partners. If we're attracting a bunch of successful people into our lives that is giving us an opportunity to expand our career purpose and our money and our and what we want in life, then we're on the right track with us. We are connected to the universe and we are making the right decisions. If we're attracting others that create obstacles for us, then we've got to turn in and we've got to look at what is it that we do, or where are we lacking? Where I meaning I, where am I lacking? They're a mirror. Look at your mirror and look at what you're attracting. If you're attracting nothing but gorgeous Jupiter and Venus energy into your life where you're just being expanded and all your potential is being met, you know that you're on the right track as a human being in your human experience. You are learning from these energies and you are being successful. Success doesn't have to come, guys, Capricorns, from achieving social status. You want social status? You want okay, so here we go. You want social status? Then you look at who you're attracting. If you're attracting obstacles, drama, unfortunate experiences, you're not ready for it. You have work to do. Tweak you and you will attract what you want. Best advice I can give you. Cannot be more. You want success. You want to be that person that everybody follows. Then you need to be something worth following. You need to be something worth giving an opportunity to. You need to be somebody worth having that social status that you desire. Yes, you can control, manipulate, and force yourself into it and get what you want at a lower level, a lower vibration. Usually costs you your family, costs you at some point in your life, it costs you your health. You become very sick. You die young. Yeah, you got what you wanted, but you did it in a maniacal way. So I say you want absolute benefic results in your life where you get to have the social status and the recognition you want. Look at who you're attracting. If you are attracting bad, then you need to straighten up. You're doing something wrong. Straight up, that's my advice to you. Sure, you're going to give me a lot of hate mail over that one, but it's so true. Okay, then on the 22nd, we have a cardinal cross. This is highlighting cardinal energy. Okay, so we had all the Pluto-Uranus squares, and we had, at the same time, Saturn in Scorpio. So life got real and tough, and oh my God, it was hard to endure the Pluto-Uranus squares because it was obstacle after obstacle. It was breakdown. It was ego breakdown. It was, there was no, you could not create a solid foundation if you wanted to, because as soon as you got solid footing, something else fell through and you had to repair that other thing that you needed to have the solid footing on. It just seemed like if you repaired that floor over there, the stairs going upstairs fell through. Like it was just one thing after another, and it drove you bananas. Now, if you did everything right, you paid attention to all the signs, and you either got out of that money pit of a house, or you tweaked it, you fine-tuned it, you found a great contractor at a great price, and then you tweaked yourself and you got back into a better state, and that investment became an investment. This is what this is highlighting. This is highlighting whether or not you have, you've got there yet. I think a lot of this for you is going to be through looking at your relationships with others. You know what? If you are, say you're going to school to do something amazing with your life and get that level of status that you want, but you know what? It's been at the cost of family. Or say you're working on that job and you're working 12, 15-hour days. It's at the cost of family. These are areas where you will be attracting people that are creating obstacles, karmic relationships that will never ever truly work out, but are supposed to teach you about yourself. It's very, very important you guys get this message. It feels really strong for me to tell you this. I mean, really strong. So it must be something somebody has to hear in the world. Then on the 23rd, we have the Sun and Mercury move into Leo. Thank God. Energy gets back to normal. When energy is debilitated, you're working in its lowest vibration. And so conflicts and obstacles happen when Mars was in Cancer. It was like, it was so hard for a masculine and energies to work effectively together. I think what we find, and I find it often in energy, is that when you have such opposing forces trying to work together, I think it definitely creates a long-term problem. And so I think when you were working on these energies and you were working with this masculine and this feminine energy, I just don't think you felt like yourself. But when Mercury goes into Leo, you're going to shine again. You're going to feel lighter. The burden kind of feels like it was lifted off your back. It's like you took a big backpack full of heavy stuff off and you threw it on the ground after hiking for an hour. You're going to be like, ah. It seemed like those obstacles that others were showing you, you find that it's been removed. You find that it's got better for you. Then Venus moves into Virgo. Now, when Venus goes into Virgo, Venus is in a debilitated state. So we go from one debilitated energy to another. So when Venus is in a debilitated energy, it is truly difficult for Venus to feel like it's going to have a lot of pleasure. So you're going to start falling into the low vibrations of this energy. Pleasurable experiences are going to be much more analytically based. And so, you're going to be looking at your relationships. You're going to be looking at, can they take you forward? You're going to be very practical. You're going to be very realistic. You always are. I don't think this is going to be entirely difficult energy for you because, you can critically always analyze relationships and understand if they're going to move you forward. I think that's actually your forte. I mean, I think it's one thing that I admire is that you just have an understanding of who's going to advance your life, who's going to move forward at the level of social status that you need. It's just going to take you to that next level. And then on the 25th, Venus retrogrades. Now, so you got this debilitated energy is going backwards. This is not great feel-good energy, but I like it. It's tweaking. I have a Venus in Virgo, and so it is a debilitated energy. But let me tell you some of the highest vibration of this energy, and I really want you to focus on only the high vibration of energy. Okay, the highest vibration of this energy is that you are patient about moving forward. You are very selective. You are in this energy, you're critical, but not to the points where if you were fully critical, you couldn't look at other people's faults and accept them. In this energy, you're looking at their faults and saying, is that something I can accept? You know, if they can't work with me fully, is there an area in my life that I can get them, push them, make them move forward? This is where you're going to be at in this day. I've been watching a lot of stuff and reading a lot of stuff about a debilitated Virgo because it's obviously in this month, and it just so happens that it's my lovely love sign. But although I think it's debilitated, you know, the people that love me can depend on me. I'm loyal. I'm selective. So very few get chosen. So it's not like I'm out there just being available to anything and anybody. Like, the people who get access to me are chosen from me. And I get a lot of offers. So it's not like, you know, I'm desperate. So I want you to know that this is a selective energy. It's a realistic energy. It's a critical energy. This is an intense energy, but I think that you'll be okay with this energy. I don't think it's going to be tough for you. And then on the full moon, we're going to have the full moon in Aquarius. Love this energy. Love forward thinking. Yes, this energy for you is, I think Capricorn and Aquarius energy are interesting bedfellows. I think they have significant things to offer each other. I do think that they could get in stances where they argue and it could be a combative energy. I think the energy's trying to meet in the middle. But if they're on the same page, I think they elevate each other. I think there's a way that those two can take each other to the next level, and that is through conversations. Now, the one thing that I love at this full moon is that, for one, it's not debilitated at all. It is gorgeous. It's full of nothing but trines, guys. So I like it. You've got Venus in Leo, and Venus is going to move back into Leo. So yes, it's going to be in retrograde, but it's not in a debilitated, Venus likes being in Leo. So yes, it's in retrograde. It's looking back. It's comparing all the relationships. It's fine-tuning relationship. You know, it's really looking at things. It's tweaking it. But it's also looking at pleasure and money, and it's looking at being creative, and it's looking at all these things. And it really wants to push forward with positive energy. It's not critically analyzing everything. It's fine-tuning. It's tweaking. It's fun. I love this month. I'm so happy to bring it to you. I feel that this energy is much more progressive energy. I feel that it's realistic. I feel that all of the retrograde planets are out there for our own good. I feel with Neptune and Pisces in retrograde, and we're having, the Sun and Mars in Cancer. I think intuition is going to be at all-time high. Great time, guys, with a lot of times for your Venus and Jupiter to be trining in Uranus. A lot of great times to take risks in the stock market. A lot of great times to take risks in areas of your life. Just try to stay out of Venus in Leo retrograde. Try to stay out of that. But if you do it before, I think you're going to be able to critically analyze it, and you're going to have your faculties enough to make really logic-based decisions, more over than, oh my God, that sounds like a great idea, let's do it. And it's not a great idea. Anyhow, have a wonderful month. And guys, I look forward to talking to you again next month.